Now we're ready for the scarf, so I am going to use this material found on ambientcg.com. Ambient CG. The fabric is fabric 054, but oddly enough, if we do a search for that, you will not find it. So instead, if you do a search for red fabric tartan, then it's easy to find, and it is this one right here. So these are the keywords that it's searching by, but for some reason searching specifically for the actual asset does not work. Once again, we do not need a very large image, so I'm just going to download this 1K. Now you'll notice that it's a zip, and we'll talk about why it is a zip here in a second. But I'm going to download the JPEG version, so I'm going to click download, and I'm actually going to right click and see if it will let me save link as. Yes, it does. So save link as, and then I'm going to put this on my desktop. You should save that into a folder where you have access, but I will save that zip folder. Then browse to where you downloaded that zip folder, and you will need to find the folder and right click on it and then do extract all, and then you can just leave the default settings, and once it extracts, it will open in a new folder, and you'll see all the fabric images that are inside there. We have several different ones that we're going to be using for this. We have the regular JPEG image, and then we also have a normal map and a roughness map that we're going to use for the first time with this. But for right now, we're just going to worry about the actual JPEG image itself. So let's go back to Blender. And then I'm going to do the same thing that we did for the hat. I'm going to do a Shift A with the scarf selected, and then add an image texture again. And then I will browse to that folder wherever you saved it. So once again, for me, it was my desktop. Find my fabric folder, look inside my fabric folder, and I need to find my JPEG color. So it'd be this one right here, not the normal or the roughness. We'll use those later, but I'm looking specifically for this image. I'll say open image, and then I will connect it. Now we have not unwrapped this yet, so we need to go back to the UV editing. And surprisingly, it does not look horrible with it not being unwrapped, but you can see, if I go into object mode, you can see that it doesn't really have the whole pattern. Right here the pattern looks pretty good, but then the rest of it does not show the pattern. So to unwrap this, I'm going to need to select the scarf in object mode, and first go back to the modifiers, because I have the solidify modifier and I need to apply it. So I'm going to hit apply, then I can go into edit mode, and with the vertex select, I'm going to do like we did with the hat and select my edges, and I want to select this entire top edge. So I'm going to hold Alt, and I'm going to select between one of these vertices, and you can see that it has selected most of the way around. But then I'm going to need to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to hold Shift while I do it this time to make sure it keeps the previous. And let's see, I need to do Shift here as well. And it looks like right here. There we go. So now I have the top edge selected all the way around my scarf. So now I'm going to hit U, and I'm going to mark my seam. I'm going to hit A, and then hit U to unwrap it, and I'm going to do the angle based again, and we'll end up with something that looks like this. Okay, so it unwrapped it correctly, but now because this is all at different angles, it's all curvy, if I go back into object mode, we can see that still doesn't look very good. So what I need to do is I need to straighten these out. Now straightening these out would be a royal pain if we had to do this manually. Fortunately, there is a plugin which will do this for us, and it's called UV Squares. Now to access UV Squares, you can go to GitHub and you can go to search for UV Squares. go to code, and you can download. But GitHub is sometimes blocked on school computers, never know when it's going to be available. So on all of your school computers in your D drive, if you browse to the D and go to Blender resources, you should see inside that folder a zip folder called uvsquaresmaster.zip. You do not need to unzip this like we did with the fabrics. All we need to do is go to Blender, go to Edit, go to Preferences, then go down to Add-ons, and then we go up here to this little drop down arrow and we go to Install from Disk. And then you just browse to your D drive where you will find the Blender resources. In my case, I put it on my desktop, and I would go to my UV Squares Master zip and I would install it. Now for me, I do not need to do this because I've already done it on my computer, so I'm going to hit cancel, but you would hit install from disk. Then you would browse down after you've already done the install. You'll go down until you find UV Squares in the list and make sure it is checked, and now it will be available in Blender. Okay, so now make sure that the active window is this side with the UV editing. I'm going to hit A to make sure everything is selected. Then I'm going to hit N to open this little side panel, and you'll now see a new tab here, UV Squares, and then I am going to select this option that says to grid by shape, and we can see how much easier that made it. It has straightened out our scarf and this looks perfect. Okay, so I'll hit N to close that, and then I'll come back over here to object mode, and this still doesn't look very good, so let me select all of that again over here. Oops, sorry, I need to go into edit mode, A, and I'll start scaling. And we can see now as I scale, let me go back into object mode over here. We can see that now the cloth, the fabric is actually following the scarf and curving around, making it look a lot better. So all you need to do now is just continue to, in edit mode, scale and drag that and position it where you want it. I think I'll do that line kind of going right on the edge. Okay, I think that looks good. So once you have it the way you want it, then we need to go back into the shading tab, and we'll actually add the roughness to this to make it look a little bit more like cloth. Okay, so we've added in the color map, but now we're going to do the roughness and the texture as well. The roughness will just kind of adjust the light a little bit. Some areas will be darker, some will be lighter, and then the texture will kind of raise it a little bit, add some bumps without actually changing the geometry of our scarf. So I'm going to drag this up a little bit, and then I'm going to do just like we did before. I'm going to do Shift A, add in another image texture, and I'll put this one down here. And to move around in this, you can just press on your middle mouse button to move around. You can zoom in and out to position this where you want it to be able to see everything. And I'm going to select this, and I'm just going to hit Shift D and duplicate that. Okay, so on this first one, I'm going to hit open. I'm going to look for the roughness map, so I'm going to go back to my desktop. In your case, go back to your D drive or wherever you saved the fabrics folder. So I'm looking for my fabrics folder, and this time I am looking for the roughness. So right here is my roughness JPEG, so I will open that image. Okay, then for this one we're going to choose the normal, so I'll hit open and I'll browse back to that same folder. Now in this one you're going to see two different normals. You're going to see normal DX and normal GL. GL is the version that Blender uses. DX is used by some other 3D modeling programs, but Blender needs the GL. So I'm going to select the normal GL, say open image. Okay, so starting with the roughness, I'm going to take the color and drag this up to roughness. Before I do that, I'll just show you. So if I zoom in up here a little bit on the scarf, our roughness, as you know, if we drag all the way down, it makes it more metallic, more shiny, versus completely rough. But what this will do is the black and white areas of this roughness map will determine which areas are shiny, which areas are darker. So there we go. It's kind of subtle. You can't see it real well. Maybe if you drag it off to an angle and look at it at an angle, you can kind of tell a little bit better. But there's our roughness map. Now the roughness map is not contributing to the color. So to make sure that this renders correctly, here where we have color space, obviously the color map is contributing, so we want to leave that one sRGB. But for the roughness, we want to click on that and change that to non-color, and then we'll do the same thing for our normal. There we go. Now for the normal, you might guess that we just go straight from color to normal. However, that isn't going to work quite the way that we want. We need to convert this image into a normal map. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Shift A, and I'm going to do a search for normal. And then we want to make sure we choose the normal map. So this one right here, normal map. I'll drop that in between these, and we can see that it automatically adjusted it for me. If it did not do that for you, color goes into color on the normal map, and then normal goes to normal. Okay, then on this we can now increase and decrease the strength of our cloth, so we can see now our cloth texture. If I turn it up really high, it's really visible and easy to see. Turn it way down, it becomes smooth again. So kind of play with that, get that to level that you like. And there we go. We now have our cloth texture.